Okay, so we've covered making a blog post. Now we're going to talk about creating new pages. And a page and a blog and a post are basically the same thing. The way we use them, the way we set them up, everything is exactly the same as a blog post. So if you get confused, I'm going to skip through a lot of this very quickly. Go back and watch the post video, and it'll describe how to do the granular detail on setting up a page. But it's exactly the same as what we did. The difference is this: your pages are not going to show up anywhere unless you specifically tell WordPress to show them somewhere, right? Which for some purposes, that's great. For others, it's not so good. So, for example, these 4 pages are pages. Karate for children, karate for families, karate for women, karate for men. The contact us page is a page. These are all different pages. And you have a lot of flexibility with how pages look and things like that. But for all intents and purposes, they're exactly the same as a blog post. They're just displayed differently. So I'm going to walk you through the whole process here. Let's say, for example, I wanted to create a page and I wanted it to link up here at the top, maybe for reviews. Let's say for customer reviews, right? Just as an example. So here's what I'm going to do. It takes 2 steps, 2 big steps. First, I have to create the page. Then I have to add it to my navigation up here. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a page. I get logged in. I'm going to go to my left navigation over here, and I'm going to go to Pages. Obviously, you see that. And you click Add New. For now, I'm going to click All Pages so I want to show you the pages that you've already got here. Obviously, we will have already built out a big series of pages here for you. Just as an example, you can see what they look like, right? Now I'm just going to click Add Pages, or you can just go over here and click Add New, whichever you want. I'm just going to click Add Page. Now again, this should look very familiar to you if you watch the posts video, right? The post editor and the page editor are exactly the same editor, right? There's no difference. So again, I can do exactly the same thing to create a page. So I'm going to give it a title. And again, I always want to be thinking about SEO. So let's do Karate Birthday Parties in Washington, D.C., right? Let's say that's my title. And again, you're going to see as soon as I click away that it'll start creating my permalink. But that's a whole other story. Then I'm just going to go into my editor. I'm going to paste some copy, some content. And, kind of format it the way you want it. Again, you can do, bolds and headings and however you want this stuff to look. You can just kind of play with it. You can change font families. You can use Arial Black. I like that for headlines a lot. You can do, Comic Sans, Helvetica. I mean, you can really customize this just like Microsoft Word. It's just slightly different, right? Add a picture. Say I want to add a picture of a birthday or something like that. I click Add Media. And then I can go to my media library. I can pick a picture from the library, or I can click Upload Files. I can upload a file, or I can insert it from a URL. If I don't want to actually load it, I can just link to another picture. So again, it's very, very functional. This platform is just absolutely incredible. I can't say enough about it. So let's say I want to use this picture. And again, I'm just going to, I'm not creating a gallery. I want to insert media. Sorry. Let's say I want to use that one, and I want it to be centered. And that's good enough, right? Whatever, right? I'm just as an example, I'm putting in a picture, right? So then I definitely want to go and set up my SEO options, right? So again, I definitely want to make sure that I have, my content in here, a few times. Again, legitimately, I'm just popping it in here so you get the example. I'm going to make my focus keyword. I'm going to make my title. I'm going to put it in my description. Children's birthday parties for kids. So now I've used children and kids, age 4 to 12, I don't know, something like that, right? Whatever you want. And then call 800-929, whatever it is, for details. And I really like to put in the phone number just as a matter of technique, because if somebody Googles it and they come up with this listing, this is exactly how the listing is going to look in Google if they find it, right? If it ranks high enough. And if my phone number is right in there, if they're on a mobile device, sometimes they can just click that phone number. or if they're just Googling it, they don't even have to click the link and they can still get a hold of me, right? So something to consider. Okay, so I've done that. Now, again, just as I did with a page, a post, there are only a couple of differences. One thing I want to point out to you is you have a lot of functionality that we'll talk about later when we talk about design and things like that. But these page settings, just read through them and you'll see what they are. You don't have to worry about the page title or any of that. But this utility panel is like your breadcrumbs bar. It's this area right here. This is where it says blog and all that stuff. Well, you'll have that on all your pages unless you turn it off. I don't want it on this page, so I'm just going to switch it off. I'm going to click that to disable that function. If you want to put in a slider, you can do that. If you want to put in an image gallery, you can do that. There's some really cool pages in this theme. There's some styling options. You can change the color of this particular page, just this page if you want. So let's do that. Let's make it green. I don't know why, but let's make it green. And then you can set a background image if you want, or a background color, or there's all sorts of customization that you can do here. But here's another piece I want to point out to you. Page attributes. There are page templates that are pre-built. We've built, I think, 6 of them, and then the theme came with a bunch of them itself, that are pre-built to show you how different pages look. And I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. So I'm gonna leave that alone for now, but you'll see that you have a sales letter with a full width with a footer, sales letter full width with a message and a footer, sales letter full width with a message and a logo and a footer, blank canvas, a blog page, a contact page, filterable gallery, full width page, left navigation, right navigation. All these are different page types that just are kind of plug and play. You click them and they work. It's pretty cool. And that's really all I'm going to worry about for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this just for a minute. And you'll notice that it doesn't appear on my website anywhere, right? Because again, I've created this page, but there's no reference to it on my site anywhere. And there's a lot of different ways to fix that. I'm going to walk you through in just a second here. But the first thing I'm going to do is just view this page. So I'm going to right click on that and open a new tab just so I don't have to come back to it. And this is what the page looks like. See how it's gray now? It's that different color, that green color, that turf color that I picked, right? So you can make each page of your website a different color if you want, just by selecting it in the page settings. And you'll also see that the layout looks a certain way, right? It's full width and all that sort of stuff. I could also pick a different page template. So let's do that for a second, just see what it does. Let's do a right navigation page. Now that's probably not set up in here, but you'll see that the page template will change. So as soon as that's done, I'll reload it. Okay, now you see it's given me a sidebar here that a navigation item would go into, right? I don't have that set up on this website, but you see that just with a click of the button, I can change the template that the page is working on, right? For this intents and purposes, and for most of what you're going to do, blank canvas is probably the page template that you're going to want to use. And that basically is, you'll see it in just a moment here, it's just very simple. There's no header, there's no footer. I'm sorry, let me say it differently. It's a full width page that you can customize however you like, but it doesn't have like a sidebar, it doesn't have any navigation, in it or anything like that. It's just a very simple page. It uses the regular header from the website and the footer from the website, but it just gives you a blank canvas to work with. So for all intents and purposes, that's going to be an easy way for you to work. But you might just experiment. Click these different pages and see what you think about them. See which ones you like, see what looks different, things like that. Now, the last thing, again, I'm gonna switch this color back to the default color, just so I can not have to worry about changing it later. Okay, so again, so I've solved that, right? So I've got my page set up. I've got maybe a web form I've embedded down here in the bottom, and people can sign up for their birthday parties right online, or they can call me or whatever they want, whatever I want them to do from this web page. But you see, I can't see it anywhere, right? So let's say I want this to be on the main navigation. Now, for this particular website, I don't want it up here. But let's say I did. Let's say I wanted it up here somewhere. That would be in one other area. If you go under Appearance in your left navigation, you'll see the item that says Menus. So if you click Menus, what you're going to see is the menu management area. And this is a little less intuitive, but it's pretty smooth. If you look up here, it says select a menu to edit. I'm going to drop that down. The main page menu is what I want to edit. So I'm going to click that and click select. Now you'll see over here on the right, it'll give you that menu. Now you see where this says home, programs, and then sub items under programs. I have children, families, women, men. Contact us is out here and news is out here. If you look at this, it looks exactly like this does, right? So really, this is pretty simple. It's drag and drop. I can move these links around just by dragging them. I can move blocks of them around. It's pretty cool. So let's say I want to add that birthday party link. A couple different ways to do it. But if I look under here over on the left, you'll see I have pages right here. Well, here's my karate birthday parties in Washington, D.C. page. I'm just going to tick it, click add to menu, and it'll add it right under here. Give it a moment. So here's my karate birthday parties in Washington, D.C. And let's say I want that to be here, right, instead of at the end. You can put it wherever you want, right? But let's say I want it here. I'm just going to move it there, click this Save Menu button. I'm going to go back to my website, and I'll refresh it. And you'll see that now I have this karate birthday parties in Washington, D.C. link. Now, it looks different. It doesn't look right. It's too long, all that sort of stuff. So let's go fix all that, right? So I'm going to go back to this menu item. Under here, there's a little drop-down menu. I'm just going to drop him down. And I see that this is way too many words, right? So I need it to be shorter than that. So let's do karate birthday parties. Let's see what that does. And then you'll also see that that there's a little description under here. Programs available, get in touch, updates and blog that I might want to change too. And in the Site Options tab at the top of the screen, this may or may not be turned off or on. In the Site Options area, you can drop that down, and you'll see that you've got Show on Screen and Show Advanced Menu Properties. And this description item is what you want to tick, right? And that's going to show you where you can add a description. So see, now I have a description, right? So have a blast. Okay, so let's see what that does. I'm going to click Save Menu, then reload this. And when it loads, you'll see that those edits should be live. Okay, hang on, it hasn't loaded yet. Give me just a second. Yeah, you have to be a little patient. There's a lot going on back in that database. So when you update pages more than one time, it does sometimes take a few moments. Okay. Now when this loads it, we should have, yep, see now here we have our shorter link and have a blast and all that's there, right? Now again, I don't want that there for this intents and purposes today, but let's say I did. That's where I would put it, okay? Now for this particular website, I actually want this link in the footer. I'm going to send people when they visit, when I market to them for birthday parties, I'm just going to send them this link. I don't necessarily need it on my homepage. You can make that decision for yourself. There are a lot of different ways to think about this. Maybe you would want to put it as a sorting tile here, another tile here for birthday parties or something like that, right? I mean, it's kind of up to you. But the point is, maybe I want it in the footer, right? Well, that's pretty easy too. I can basically go to my footer items, which I don't think I want to get into in this video, but you can add it there as well, right? So we'll walk through that in another tutorial. But for now, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to click remove because I actually don't want that in this website. But that's how you would add a navigation item to your menu up here, right? Very simple. And there are millions of WordPress tutorials all over the universe that will show you how to do this too. But this is a real good kind of a primer for working with this part. So good. That's Pages 101, and we'll move on to what's next.